Hello everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of What's for Dinner. Today I'm making a beefy tortellini bake of some sort. Let's get cooking. So the one thing about this recipe is it was mostly a video, and usually the videos I watch have the recipe listed in the comments or somewhere within the description of the video. This video did not have that, so I'm going off purely by what I could see from the video in terms of how much spice we're putting in and other small little things. So it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to start by cooking 1 pound of ground beef and adding in some salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika. It's specifically, I'm using smoked paprika. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm using smoked paprika and some onion powder. Now, many people know I like to use lean beef, so this is 96.4. I'm just gonna put a little olive oil in the base of this skillet to give it a bit of unresistance while I cook this beef. So let's see here. This beef is a little frozen. And there we go. Turn the heat on. I'm also preheating the oven to 350 degrees. Now once the beef's in there, I'm going to take my wooden spatula here and just kind of break this up. We're going to add in our spices here in a second. Just trying to get these big chunks of the frozen meat broken up. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now that that's done, we're going to add in the equivalent of about a teaspoon of salt, about a teaspoon or so of black pepper, a good thorough shake, as I call it, a good thorough shake of garlic powder, a nice thorough shake of some smoked paprika, and then a nice good shake of onion powder. All right, we're gonna let the beef cook. Once it's done cooking, we'll be back to add the next set of ingredients. All right, so once your spices have been added, your meat cooked, and I did drain the fat off, the very little fat that there was, we're now going to add an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. And I believe this entire jar, which is 24 ounces of any kind of tomato or marinara sauce. And basically you're going to add this until this melts and the tomato sauce blends with it. So let's add in cream cheese. And I'm going to start with a half of this jar. We'll start with that. And now we basically just let this, I'm going to break it up a little bit. Once this is all mixed together, we're then going to layer it into an 8x8 glass dish with the tortellini that I have already boiled off camera. I will move the camera when it's time to set that whole up. We're then going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so we have our 8x8 container here. We're going to layer this in half the meat, and then I have a 10-ounce, I think it was 10-ounce package of cooked 5-cheese tortellini that's going to go in. We'll then put another layer of the meat, and then we're going to top it with some mozzarella cheese. Let's put about half this meat in the bottom. I'm not greasing this. It did not say to grease it. Well, I should say the video did not show them greasing this. I'm very curious as to if all of this tortellini is going to fit in the bottom of this. Now the tortellini. Oh, it's going to come out in one giant clump. Oh wait, hold on. Well, that does sort of fit. Break it up here a little bit. Now the key is to get the rest of the meat on top without it overextending the boundaries of the dish. Right, now we top with the rest of the meat. Not quite half, but it covers it pretty decently. Then we top it with some mozzarella cheese. Now, obviously, the recipe did not tell me to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. That was just a guesstimate that I had. Everything in this is cooked already. We're just essentially heating it up and allowing the cheese to melt. So I have it, again, preheated to 350 degrees. I'm going to start with 15 to 20 minutes and see where it goes, but you do want the cheese to brown in some spots, kind of like you would on a pizza. So we're going to start with that, 350 for 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll be back. Alright, so it turned out that it actually needed 30 minutes to start getting some of these brown spots on the top. So I had it in for about 30 minutes. Just took it out now. It's bubbling. It smells really nice. I'm going to cut myself a generous piece. You can top this with some parsley. I just so happen to have some parsley in the fridge. So I'm going to cut myself a generous corner piece right here. And I'm going to try to not scald myself. Come out too bad. All right, let me open up this parsley. It just gives it a little color. All right, let's give this a whirl. That's pretty good. I'm impressed with myself making something with no real measurements on a recipe. The tortellinis are cooked real nicely too. Thank you all for watching this episode of What's for Dinner. If you have any recipes you'd like me to make on camera, leave them below in comments and I'll check them out. Until next time, take care, God bless, and I'll see you later.